let's take a closer look at these uncirculated 2017 Philadelphia Lincoln cents. Thanks for joining me. I'm Matthew the Great Coin Roll Hunter, and you're watching Big Money, the show that takes our favorite coins and currency and puts them under the microscope. Special shout out to a friend and longtime subscriber of the show, Wes, who has been gracious to donate an entire roll of uncirculated 2017 Philadelphia Pennies for us to actually tear open and coin roll hunt for errors and varieties. Now, if you missed that video, I will leave a link in the description below where you can check it out, which is where I've been able to cherry pick out these 5 2017 Philadelphia Pennies. Now, this is a very special year, 2017, for the Philadelphia Mint and the penny specifically, because they did not include the capital P that you see here as their mint mark. Typically, well, not typically, they did up until 2017, just leave that area blank, and that's how we knew it was Philadelphia. So they've gone back to that here in 2018. So a very unique year. And we're very grateful here on the show to be allowed to open one of these uncirculated rolls. Now, I'm just going to get out of here so we can take a closer look at these coins. And this is the first example. And this one I wanted to check out under the microscope because it had a very unique mark on it. Probably not that unique now that I think about it, but right here. Now, you could see this with the naked eye, and that is actually machine damage from the crimp roller. So these coins, they come out of being minted and thrown into bins and then cycled through another machine that rolls them, and there's a little crimping thing on there. And you can see it's just totally wiped out the field and some of the hair detail on Lincoln's bust there. And unfortunately, a lot of collectors aren't going to want this coin, but it does give you an idea of what the fields look like on these business strikes. A business strike is simply just a coin. It's minted at less pressure, one strike, very quick, and it's intended for circulation. So unlike a proof, which is typically struck twice under high pressure to get the most amount of detail, usually it's got an acid-treated die and gives it kind of a cameo effect, a cameo finish where the raised portions are frosted. But you can see the main thing, getting back to this particular penny, you can see how that crimping mark has just totally wiped this coin out. Now that was on the one ender. This was the second ender, which looks like it had a better chance. But again, you can see on these raised areas the same spot right there, just behind Lincoln's ear. Even though we don't have the huge gouge mark there, this coin has been touched by the machine. So if you've got these uncirculated Philadelphia pennies, check the enders. They're probably not going to be any good for you. So 2 of them, no good right off the back. You can see a couple of these scratches, some water spots. All of this is, I guess you could call it post-mint damage, I suppose, even though it happened at the mint. But it's due to just, you know, maybe somebody sneezed in the bin when they were transferring it over to the rolling machine. Now, this third example was actually the best looking coin I could find out of all 50 coins. And we had some surprises in that roll. And so I didn't see any damage right away with the naked eye, the unaided eye. So I thought I'd make a great example for us to put under the microscope here. And we're just taking a look at the rim, see if it's centered correctly, if there's any doubling of any kind, die cracks, which you'll usually see on the back of this particular, the shield variety pennies, had a lot of weak points in the reverse design as far as die cracks. Now what surprises me about this one is that there's a lot of water spots, a lot of water damage here. Could be oil, maybe they were maintaining the machine at that time or just finished it. Something happened to these coins. That was pretty consistent throughout the entire roll, which was a bummer. Now it looks like we've got kind of an interesting, that might be a die crack right there, kind of goes along the eye. What do you guys think right there? Is that a scratch? Is it a die gouge? Maybe it's a crack. Just right here, you see that? I haven't seen any examples of that kind of damage in my research, so that would be something new. So take a good look at that for me, and in the comments below, let me know what you think. But we're going to move on to the reverse design for this 2017 Philadelphia Penny. Now, there's one really exciting, dramatic error coin that you can find with these. They call it the lightning bolt, and it'll be coming right out of, it's like a die crack. It comes right out of the top of the shield here. Obviously, this is not the case. This was also the best example of the reverse for out of all 50 of those coins. And you can see these are uncirculated coins and just a lot of water spots on them. Milk spot, well, they're not milk spots, it's not silver, but maybe I'm wrong on that, I don't know. But take a look at those fields. They're kind of, they're in pretty good shape. They're in pretty good shape. They mint these quick and they just throw them in bins to be rolled and used in circulation. You can see some scuff marks there where the coins have rubbed against each other. I don't see any fingerprints though. That's good. I was using my gloves when I unwrapped these. There's some more scuff marks. Yeah, all the high points on these designs. But typically you'll see out of the corners of the shield, any of the points, there's die fatigue that'll happen. That's a great place to start looking for just that little bulge there off where it separates the stripes. All those tend to be weak points in the die. So for those, they'll crack out and they'll look pretty cool. But I do not see anything that looks like any die cracks or varieties, gouges, really anything. So now this is the last example here. And this one actually was the worst, I think, for water spots and damage. And you can see the previous ones have been kind of white. And I was just curious because I was trying to get a better look at those. Here's a big one right on his nose there. So that could have been water, I guess. I don't know if they got to cool the mint, but here's as bad as it can be. And this was right out of the center of a uncirculated roll of 2017 Philadelphia Pennies. Now, that was a huge surprise for me because you expect them to be all shiny and everything. Looks like we got a little bit of a scrape right there. Now, interesting though, if you look at this particular spot right here, you have this this scrape, okay, and then you have the water droplet over it. So obviously the damage happened one and then the other. So I do not know where all of that water damage comes from. Any insight into that process would be great to hear. Leave that in the comments below if you know, if you've got any theories. So you can see there's just a couple of contact marks. Again, these aren't made to be collected. They're just made to be in circulation, so you take your chance. But anyway, with that, that is all 5. But thanks for joining me. Leave your comments and leave your thoughts about all these in the comments below, and I wish you good luck. And thanks for joining me. Have a great day.